Okay, so give us a short introduction about yourself.
My name is Eddie Poma. I'm 39 years old. Um, I live in Rockland County, New York, and I was born in Guatemala. And my daughter, it's Alexa Poma.
Okay, what year did you immigrate to the US?
I came to the U.S. in 1994.
Okay, and how old were you?
I was 11 years old.
Okay, so what means did you use to get here?
I I crossed the border between Mexico and the United States.
And can you elaborate on that experience?
Sure. I um, I was 11 years old. I had to cross the border to come and meet my parents again. Um, Unfortunately, our situation back home wasn't the greatest, so they had to make the difficult choice of coming here to give us a better life back home. And supposedly had to be a couple of years, and that extended to X amount of years. And right after that, I had to come, and you know, my my mom came first, and a couple of years later, my dad came, and after that, my older brother came too, and the three of them decided that it was better for me to come here before I I reached certain age, because back home is really dangerous for a teenager to be by himself. So they decided to get me here, and that's what they did, and I'm glad they did. But I crossed the border once. It took me about a week. I reached Nogales, Mexico, and I remember they put us in a hotel for X amount of days, and somebody rides out. Um, for some reason, the immigration came and they deported us back home. They sent us back for. It took us, well, it was a whole process because I was in jail, the minor jail, for like a week. They wouldn't release me because they were waiting for some paperwork or whatever. But when they released us, um, we went back home, and there was 100 people um, besides me. So there was 101 people, and everybody just didn't have any siblings or anything. Everybody didn't know anybody. That just, um, they was trying to, cross the border. As the time went by, I decided that, you know, to give it another shot, and I did. And it was a hustle. I mean, I had to walk rivers for hours. Um, well, it was a nightmare. It was an experience that is really hard, and only a person who went through that can only understand, because it's really hard to make it here. And when I came here, um, well, when I crossed the border the second time, it was even harder, because I already knew that whatever um, trail that I walked before, I had to do it again, and it was only getting worse and worse and worse. I remember one time, I almost fainted, and I don't know if that he was my angel or not, but I remember that he picked me up, and I was a kid. He picked me up, and he carried me, in his shoulders they said for like 2 or 3 hours. So I can only imagine if this guy would have never showed up and carried me the way he did, I would probably be dead. And for that, I'm grateful that I'm still here. And I always tell my family that I wish I can find this man right now, and thank him, because I think he was my angel. But that's the story. I mean, obviously making the story long short, but that's how I managed to come here.
So you said you came here because your family was here. Um, was that worth it to come here and go through all of that?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, my parents were here already. My older brother was here, and it was worth it, definitely. Just I remember hugging my mom and my dad and my brother for the first time, after not being with them for a long time, and it felt really, really nice. And then I said to myself, yes, all whatever I just went through, it was worth it, everything. So for that, I'm grateful.
So, can you imagine a life where you hadn't gone through that, where you hadn't immigrated over?
It's really hard to say because, like I said, I was 11 years old. I was a kid, but now that I am, in the position that I am, and my family, my wife, and my two kids. Of course, I'm definitely, I'm grateful, and I'm so grateful to be here. And yes, I, I can't imagine a life other than the life that I have. I cannot imagine, and again, for that, I'm so thankful and grateful, and that's it.
Do you think you would be the same man that you are today if you hadn't gone through all that?
I think well, again, I was a kid. I don't know where my life would have went otherwise, but now that I am where I am, again, I don't regret what I went through, and I'm so grateful to be where I am, and I'm thankful that, the guy that I have become, the man that I have become, because at the end of the day, my parents showed me manners, showed me how to respect people, and I think that's what is taking place right now in my life, and for that I'm grateful.